Hey witches, thank you for coming back to Gothic Magic. You're gonna hear my daughter having a bath as usual. Sorry in advance for any noise that you will hear. You may also hear my husband up here. So anyway, I wanted to do this video this way. I almost did it talking over a little screen, but I wanted to show you guys some, just a couple of things that you can do with stuff that you bring back from the beach. So, anyway, so think about the beach. Think about the beach. Think about what the beach means to you. Maybe it's not somewhere you like to go. I know plenty of people who hate the beach. My grandmother is one of them. She hates the beach. I love the beach. I plan on retiring to an island when I'm of age. I have put in all the years. I plan to do that. So, took a few notes. So, I wrote down the beach is a very magical place where all the elements meet. Because if you think about it, I need to move this, y'all. I had this when I was doing artisan spell work that I need to get rid of. You have your, of course, you have your four elements. So you've got your water, your earth. The wind is so wonderful, and the air element is so sweet and comforting. And then, of course, you have your earth everywhere. Don't forget your sunscreen, but you do want to absorb a little bit of sun. I'll talk about it a little bit later. You want to absorb a little sun before you put on your layers and layers of sunscreen, because sun, just straight up sun rays without any kind of interference, are really good for the aura and to raise your vibrations. So you want to do that. Okay, and then I wrote, also bring some containers. So, I don't know, you might want to get seawater and something like this, maybe something a bit larger. You can bring empty, if you have any empty of these, to bring home shells, or I like these because it's not like a bag where it's going to get broken. Of course, you could just use a baggie and bring back some sand. Hopefully a bigger baggie than that. You want to, get you one of these and bring back some sand. Bring back a good bit, because you're going to need it. This little bottle of shells came in there. And the cinnamon glass is good. Just anything like that is good to, bring back stuff and keep it safe, because you don't want it to break. If it breaks, you can still use it, but you don't want it to break. Okay, so collect some sand, shells, shark's teeth, coral, driftwood, whatever you find. Make sure it's okay to take. There are some places that have strict rules, and there's also some like superstitious shit out there. The one beach in Hawaii, if you take a lava rock, you're said to be cursed with bad luck unless you return it to the same spot. So this is rare. Most places don't care, but it's always a good idea to check with the locals just to make sure, especially if you see like something really cool and you just feel kind of weird about it. Ask first. You don't want to be cursed because you took a friggin' shell or rock. So next I put down, one of the main things you can do is just swim or relax in the sea for a mundane and magical detox. I feel so clean after I get out of the ocean. I always will go back to my room and shower. Not immediately after. I like to enjoy myself being all salty for a while, but I'll shower and I just feel so wonderful. I can't wait to retire down there. I'll be old, but I'm excited. I haven't picked a spot. I've got it narrowed down to 3 though. Anyway, Another thing that you can do is take a walk at sunrise or sunset, either one. Mine will probably not be sunrise very often, maybe once or twice. I really like to do both if I can get my lazy butt up, but I'm usually really tired from swimming too, and doing magical stuff. I get a magical hangover sometimes. It's just so much. But when you're taking that walk, just meditate and appreciate the beach for how magical it really is. The night walks are, oh goodness, I love to do night walks. Moon bathe, just put on your bikini and like maybe just some shorts, no shoes. Bring a few candles or incense with you if you can. It's really hard to keep stuff lit at the beach, but bring those with you to moon bathe. And what I like to do is sit with where my butt is almost up to the ocean, and then put some white candles around me, usually 3, or make them in a triangle, or just line them up and stick them in the dirt. That's the sand. Just stick them down in the sand, or I've been successful with tea lights in the little dishes like this. I've been successful with this type of setup on the beach. One reason, the main reason is because when this is lit and it's in there, the wind is not going to get to it as much as if it's just a taper, or a chime just sitting up, hanging out like this. It's so much easier to blow out than if you have that. So just a little witchy tip there, but it makes it so magical when you can bring some candles. And of course you would be bringing 3 when you're doing moon magic and the moon bathing. And you can also, you can bring 3 white or silver candles, but of course you're bringing those 3 to represent the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, the triple goddess. That's why you're bringing 3 candles. You can also, I like to bathe in the moonlight, put my legs into the water, and I like to scry into the ocean. I like to kind of just stare, like spread my legs just a little bit and just stare either to one side of me or right over my legs where it's dark, and just stare at that spot and listen to the moons, or listen to the moon, listen to the ocean. And that's one of my favorite ways to scry. I love it. I told you guys before I would be a sea witch if I lived near the beach. That's what I would be, 100%. Exercise by swimming, playing volleyball, doing beach yoga, or just soaking up the rays, or just soak up the rays. That's not exercise, but it's good for you. And like I said, get a little bit of sun, just a little bit, before you put that sunscreen on. Help the local wildlife by picking up trash, guys. I hate seeing a dirty beach. If you see a couple pieces of trash, just pick them up and then go put your hand sanitizer on. If you're afraid of germs, just get it done. Especially if you're taking things, if you're taking shells, or you're gonna take sand. I'm actually out of beach sand. Oh no, I better go get some. But if you're gonna take shells, you're gonna take sand, you're gonna take water, clean up. It'll make you feel more reciprocity, and you're a witch. You like to clean up the beach. Collect some sand and seawater to bring home and use in spells and rituals. You want to bring these things home, guys. Okay? You want to bring them home as much as you can. Like, don't go crazy, but as much as you can. I'll usually bring a bag of, like I showed you, of the mugwort, that size bag, a couple of jugs of seawater, and then any shells that we find, because we always have shells. And we go shell shopping too, because my daughter likes to go to those stores and pick up stuff. But anyway, the sand can be used to cast a circle. If you're not trying to do it for protection. If you're just casting a circle, just like somebody would use rose petals, you could use sand. It can also be used in spells related to longevity because of the endless cycle of the tides and the peace. Because for most people, the beach is a really peaceful place. Beach sand can also be used in sachets and floor scatters for protection, longevity, even love. Just think about what it contains and what those items represent. I mean, think about what this represents. This somebody lived here. This was somebody's home. This is protection. This is protection. And this nautilus right here, actually Bartikate's nautilus. And I'm not going to show you that much, but I have a piece of paper in here because I want to protect what's going on in there. Protection. It also represents the never-ending cycle of life. I mean, it represents harmony. So many things that it represents. Take a minute and write in your BOS. Make a beach page. Make a beach page and write the answer to these things. Like, what does each thing mean to you? What does a shell mean? What does the sand mean? You know, what does the driftwood mean? What does the salt water mean? What do those things mean to you? What do those things mean to you as a witch? Look at all these little guys. All right, anyway. Okay, so that's a good thing to think about because they may be a little bit different for everybody. And this was not something I saw in a spell or anything. I just thought protection. I need to protect this. And it's been in there ever since the minute I needed it to go into protection. So next, I put when you're doing the floor scatters and sachets with the sand, you can add herbs to your mixture to give it a specific purpose or just to add to it. It's also a great representation of the earth element to place on your altar or use in circle casting for your eastern corner. So for your earth element, it's good to do that. Why did I say east? I'm east. I meant north. I was thinking E. No. Earth is north, guys. Air is east. Okay. Some people say it's a good substitute for graveyard dirt. I don't really think so. I think if you're going to do something that needs a graveyard dirt, there's a reason why it's graveyard dirt. But like I've always said, I'm always one for switching things up if you need to. That's up to you, but I don't think you'll get the same effect unless you have those spirits really working with you. The seawater represents abundance. So use it to charge tools by dipping them into the seawater. You can bring it home with you and whatever. You could lay it in a pan or a cup or even a jar and anoint your tools with it before you do an abundant spell, the tools that you want to use for that spell. Because the sea is forever abundant. It is for now. I will be doing a video about how people are fucking up the sea and what we have to start doing to fix the sea. Because we cannot let it go under our watch or our children's watch. As witches, we cannot. Anyway, I'll quit ranting about that. So, also you can use, whenever you're casting your circle, you can use the ocean water as your water element in your western corner when you're doing an abundant spell or not. I like to use it as much as possible when I get it. I always use moon water or sea water. You're never going to catch me going to the sink because I've just always got those things on hand because I make sure I have them on hand because I use them so much. It's like I'm never going to be out of freaking shampoo. I'm going to have that shit because I need it. Okay, I found a little money spell that I thought was cool because everybody's always asking me about money spells and this one involves the ocean. And I thought that's cool and I'm going to be doing this too when we get back this year. So you're going to take several coins, each anointed by a drop of seawater. So anoint them each by hand using a drop of seawater. I would get the water on my finger and then let it go, or even rub it in to get those energies melted. I wouldn't just squirt it with like an eyedropper. I wouldn't do that. I would use my hands. Use your hands as much as possible and get that energy in there. Anyway, then you're going to take the coins and place them in a circle around a green candle. So just take your green candle, and then these will be coins. Just place your coins around. Don't use a tea light unless you just have to. It never said you couldn't use a tea light, but so you put those around there. If you want to also anoint your candle in seawater, you can do that. Just be very careful that you don't drown the wick. Or you could use a money oil. You could use a Hydron oil, not Black Destroyer, but you could use Hydron oil. You could use, I have this attraction oil that would work too. You could use bergamot. You could use money drawing oil. Probably money drawing would be the best. Unless you don't have that, you may use Hydron. Lemongrass might be okay too, but also cinnamon oil, mint oil, and if you have patchouli oil, that would work too. But vegetable oil always work, or you could use some of the seawater. So whatever you want to do. So then visualize the sea and the abundance it brings while setting your intention. Visualize the change that the abundant sea can bring into your life. Let the feeling wash over you. Feel the elements. And you may even want to carve the candle with like dollar signs, amounts, sigils, whatever you normally do for candle work. You may want to keep that tradition and have that done first. If you choose to do that, it's optional. You can also choose to do a petition to put underneath the candle with whatever you want written on there. And then get your little headspace right. And then after your beachy meditation and focus are complete, light the candle. Okay, and then I would spend at least, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all 10 minutes. You want to spend at least 10 minutes with your candles after you light them. Do not just light your candle and walk off. Stay with it for 10 minutes. Come back and tend to it. Sprinkle a few more herbs if you want. Just play around with it. Don't just light it and walk off. Spend some time there with it. So as it's burning down, just watch it and think about that intent. Whatever you put into it, focus on that. Then, after about 10 minutes, you can leave it. Bury anything left over, whether it's candle drippings. You don't have to bury your candle holder. Just whatever's left over of the candle, and the coins with the salt water on there. Bury them near a tree while thanking the universe for its abundance. I really like that one because it uses the sea, so I'll be doing that. So also I put that you can place a jar or bowl of seawater on your altar to represent the element of water, and one somewhere in your home to absorb negative energy. So I talked about like maybe filling this with salt water and putting it on your altar, or even in your little bowl. Y'all wouldn't use this, that would be silly. Using it like a small little bowl, or whatever kind of dish you use on your altar to hold water. You may keep a bottle. I don't know, some people may. Because my cat likes to try to drink my water, but he doesn't come up here much. But I have to be really careful when I am using salt water because he will try to drink it. So I could understand why somebody would use something with the lid. That's cool. If that's you, you do you, honey. But when you take another jar, and then you could use this, a regular jar or a bowl, if you're not scared about it getting knocked over, but it needs to be glass. I would try to leave it open, but you don't have to. Keep this full of seawater, cleanse it first, and put it somewhere, some of the common areas of the house to absorb negativity. Maybe one in your bedroom if you and your husband fight a good bit, or your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, or even in like the other common areas of the house. Just, put it full of seawater. And so if anybody says, what's that doing there? Say, oh, I just went to the beach water. I thought it looked cute. I went to the beach and brought back some seawater. I thought it looked cute, and leave it at that. Don't tell people what it is, because I would really try to hide this, but if anybody saw it, don't tell them what it's for, because it loses its magic. But then after about 3 days, you can dump this, just give this back to Mother Nature while thanking the universe and thanking Mother Nature. You're pouring it out for Mother Nature to turn that negativity into something new, which in most cases would be positivity. All right, let's see here. Charge your water-safe crystals in the ocean. I don't even have any crystals up here right now. They're downstairs, but anyway, whatever crystals that are safe for you to charge in the ocean. Like I have this. I have this citrine bracelet. It's a little bit big for me. I have this size, and then I have a smaller one that I wear. I use this one sometimes just on my altar around a different chalice I have if I'm doing something. Usually with money magic, I use this with that chalice. But citrine is fine to go in the water. Pyrite? No. Pyrite makes the water toxic. Selenite? Hell no. The selenite will fall apart. So make sure that your crystal is water safe, and specifically seawater safe. So definitely charge those crystals. And if you don't want to bring them with you, bring them home, and then just, put them and take your seawater and do it at home. Do it at home if you don't want to bring them to the beach. Let's see. Seashells. I think I said this also. Seashells represent protection, okay? But they also represent love. For obvious reasons, they're protection, but they're also love because this was a home for someone, okay? They're also associated with Aphrodite. Shells are, so they're a great offering to her. So you can use these in love spells. Please, guys, use self-love spells. Don't get yourself in a situation. But love spells, self-love spells, and use them as offerings for Aphrodite, or any items that you collect at the beach, but especially seashells. She loves the puka shells the most. You can find those, but any shells will do. Now, if you work with gods and goddesses, deities, quite often you'll know there are special circles that most of them have. Like Hecate's is a regular circle, but then you have 3 extra tea lights within that circle, and then you have to go around once with incense, once with a bell, and then once with turnips, which turnips is like a sort of a witchy holy water. It's not moon water. It needs to be collected from a moving body of water, and salt needs to be added to it, and then it is blessed. So if you get seawater and then say a prayer over it, you can use it as turnips, as far as I know. Okay, I have not had it fail. If I ever do have it fail, I will make it a different way, but you can use that for turnips. And that's Kherips. I hope I'm saying that right, y'all. My Greek is terrible. Y'all should hear me try to do Hecate's epithets sometimes. I sound like a crazy person. Okay, you can also, if you're somewhere that has a lighthouse, find the lighthouse and meditate while focusing on guidance or a specific question. So, because a lighthouse represents like the way, that'd be a cool thing to meditate on, while looking for guidance or the answer to a question, a specific question. So you can also make a witch's protection jar, but a sea witch's protection jar. I will be doing this. This is very similar to a regular protection jar that you just do in a mason jar, but with this one you will have salt water, tag locks, and then all your pokey stuff from the beach, like pokey pieces of coral. Like this kind of shell right here is really pokey. You could even smash up a couple of shells that are already broken and make them more pokey. But coral, pieces of driftwood, you know, even like shave some off to like, you know, look like splinters, put that in there. But you can make a sea witch protection jar and then seal it with candle wax. I love that idea. I can't wait to do that. I can't believe I've never done that. In all these years, I never would have even thought of that. Next, to release an emotion or banish someone from your life, you can write the word or whatever it is or their name in the sand near the tide. So, say the tide's here. Write the stuff about here. If the tide's coming in, if it's going out, you know, then you might want to do this when the tide's coming in. So write their name, you know, 8 inches to a foot closer to where the tide's going to come. So write their name out or write out whatever it is in the sand. And then just watch as the waves come take it away. And as it does, you know, just say something as, you know, as these waves carry away your name, you are therefore banished from my life, so mote it be, something like that. Just, that relates to what's happening. That's what I would say. But you are welcome to make up anything or say nothing. Just focus on that thing or person out of your life while the water takes it away. Next, you have, let's see, you can also do this with a pebble. You can also banish a negative, something negative or whatever, anything that you want to get out of your life with a pebble. So take the pebble. This is a lapis lazuli, but a pebble that you find on the beach, not one of your favorite crystals, and not one of your deity's crystals. But put everything in there, hold it, put everything in there, maybe even speak in there. Maybe give it some witch's breath or blow on it, whatever. And then count the waves after you get finished. And on the 9th wave, throw that thing in as far as you can. Just throw it in as far as you can. And then say, I release you. And then just envision the fact that the waves are removing all that negativity from your life. Okay? I love that one. To just put it, this would, even if you wanted to bring yourself a piece of black tourmaline with you to the beach, or even a smoky quartz, because it's a bit cheaper, and use that instead of a pebble, I would do that, because I don't think you're going to really hurt it if you know, just adding one thing to the ocean. I think that would be a good one to do. But anyway, I love that one, because the ocean just kind of carries your problems away with both of those. You can also make a driftwood wand. You can bring it home, use it in witchy displays, do lots of things with driftwood. But one thing that you can do is make a driftwood wand. They're pretty cool, and they're so light. You can also add items brought home with you to your bath. So, say you brought 2 gallons of seawater, and you're feeling a bit meh, use a half a gallon, add it to your bath water, go for it. You know, you can add some shells in there. You know, if you're just feeling a certain way and you want to bring the beach to your bathroom, go for it. Even like lay these around your tub, like with some candles and some shells. Just make bath time special with some of those things you brought home with you. And think about, what can I bring from my bath while you're there, so that way you're thinking about it. Because you know you want a witchy sea bath. So the last thing I wrote was the moving ocean waters can also expose you to negative ions, which strengthen your aura. And I talked at the very beginning about watching out to put on the sunscreen for a few minutes, because the sun rays can also help with strengthening your aura, okay? So the movement of the ocean exposes you to negative ions. Walking barefoot on anything Mother Nature related exposes you to negative ions. The detoxing actual seawater, negative ions, and the sun rays, negative ions. So 4 things at the beach right there in one place to make your aura stronger. So why in the hell would you have a weak aura while you're at the beach? Why everybody at the beach is always so happy. And I know when I'm looking around, I've never seen anybody that looks super depressed or that has like a really, really fucked up aura at the beach. And now I know why. I thought it was just because they were happy. But anyway, guys, that's all that I have. I wanted to show you guys, I have one last of the witches' bells. Just one last one. If you're interested in it, just send me a DM. I will be making some more, but these things have sold like crazy. I don't know if it's the Hecate devotees in the house or what, but people are going crazy about these keys that I have on these witches' bells. And this is like a little clamp where you can wear it, or you can put it on your bag. You can clamp it to somewhere near your altar, whatever you want to do. I have a couple of these on the wall. I have one that hangs from my rear view. Just cute. But the ones I have right now, I like to do these in the dark gray and the gold. They just look pretty. They look pretty together. And then I have like a smoky quartz on there. But that's all I have, guys. And thank you so much for coming. And blessed be to you all. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys.